Pero kung titingnan mo, ilan ba yung naging suspicious ng 2022 to 2026?
Yun.
Ilan yung large transactions from 2022 to 2026? Because that is the only period in question. So kung 63.8 million yan from 2022 to 2026, then hindi malaki ba yun? Pero hindi kami, ako as congresswoman, kung tumatanggap ako ng MOOE ko buwan-buwan, di ganyan din ang transactions ko sa CTR.
Dito sa isa na to, palakpakan ho natin ng BIR dahil hindi ho sila nagpagamit diyan sa mini trial ng Injustice Committee na kung saan ang ini-aim lang ho talaga masiraan ang pamilya Duterte, especially hetong si Vice President Sara Duterte. Hawak niya na ho ang hawak niya na ho ang beat, hindi box. Pero hindi niya ho pwedeng buksan dahil magkakaproblema ho sila sigurado sa Korte Suprema. Hindi ho kagaya ng AMLA, nagpagamit ho sila sa naratibo na gustong mangyari nitong mga congressman diyan sa Injustice Committee. Pero bago ho natin babara niya ang pagsoplak ng BIR na yan dito kay Luistro, ito ho muna tayo. Pag-usapan ho muna natin ang mga punto de vista nitong si Congressman BH diyan sa nangyaring hearing kahapon, diyan sa nangyaring mini trial na yan kahapon sa Injustice Committee. Isang like at isang subscribe. Masaya na ho tayo dyan at sa mga gusto sumali sa ating community, yung join button, nandyan lang ho sa baba. Muli, gusto ko hong i-mega love shoutout itong si Sir Herbiscal. Maraming salamat, Sir. Mega love shoutout. Ingat ho kayo, ingat. Nasanda ako man ho kayo ng daigdig ngayong mga panahon na to. Maraming salamat ho sa pag-support sa PH Update. Sir Herbiscal, ingat ho kayo dyan sa Australia. Rekta ho tayo dito kay Ma'am BH. Good.
Topic lang po, kanina sa pagdinig po ng House Justice Committee, nabanggit po yung mga sinasabing suspicious billions of transactions na sabi po ng Anti-Money Laundering Council. Inuugnay po kay Vice President Sara Duterte. 3.92 billion at matindi po ma'am yung package ng narrative na lumabas po doon. AMLAC, suspicious, billion, Sara Duterte, pinagmumukhang malaki at mabigat ng mga paratang, kahit wala naman pong napapatunayan. Ma'am, bilang pong former congresswoman, ano pong tingin nyo dito?
Well, syempre, dapat maintindihan ng taong bayan. Yung AMLC, ang tinatrack niya is the movement of funds. So, hindi ibig sabihin, yan ang laman ng bank account. It is pag kunwari, katulad kami sa Congress, di ba, may MOOE kami.
Nako,
di ba?
yan na.
Mas every month may MOOE kami. So, pumapasok sa account namin, di ba, papasok yan, 500,000. Kunwari, yung sinasabi ng bonus, pag may bonus kami, di ba, 1.5 million o 2 million, naka-apat na checking tig pa 500. Dahil 500 yan, edi CTR na kaagad yan. Di apat na 500, di ba, CTR. So, pumasok yan, apat. So, pumasok yan sa aming sa account namin, sa Land Bank. O after yan, kunwari ako, ililipat ko ngayon siya doon sa aking account na pangsweldo sa mga tao. Kasi itong MOOE, pangbayad mo yan ng kung ano-anong ginagastos mo, pangsweldo mo sa mga extrang taong kinukuha mo. Diba? So ilalabas mo ulit siya ng 4 na 500. O di ibig sabihin nun, 2 million, 4 million na yun. Pero magkano ba talaga yung pera? Pero kung nilabas mo yung pera dahil pinangsweldo mo, may natira ba? Di ba zero?
Napakaganda ho nung halimbawa nitong si Pong BH. Diba? Mula doon sa malait na pera, pinasok, linabas, magdodoble yun pagka kinumpyot ng AMLA. Palakpakan. Yun ang problema natin dito. Kaya hindi ho pwedeng, hindi pwedeng gawing basihan na, oy, dami bilyones yung labas-pasok sa pera ng AMLA. Yung AMLA executive director na yun, anak na to, kasi taba niya na yun, tutulo ang magmamantikayon sa susunod na administrasyon, sigurado. Malilit yun ho yung mama na yun. Yung executive director, mali ho yung ginawa niya na yun. Dapat dininaw nila na ito yung mga naglabas-masok. Anong ibig sabihin naglabas-masok? Nagpasok ng piso, pumasok lang piso. Tapos ilinabas yung piso, ang bilang ng AMLA doon, 2 piso. Kasi nga yung movement ng pera. Diba? Hindi naman ibig sabihin pagka pinasok yung piso, tapos lalabas yung piso, piso lang ang bilang ng AMLA doon. Hindi ho. 2 piso na ho. Ngayon yung piso na yun, nagbago ang isip, noong pinagbigyan ng piso, ibabalik na naman yung piso, magiging 3 piso na ho sa bilang ng AMLA yun. Pero piso lang ho pinag-uusapan natin dito. Pinasok yung piso ang bilang ng AMLA. Ilinabas yung piso, 2 piso na ang bilang ng AMLA. Nagbago isip yung nung pinaglabasan ng AMLA. Nako, hindi pala natin gagamitin yung piso na yan. Ipinasok ulit yung piso, 3 piso na ang bilang ng AMLA. Ganyan ho katindihan mga kababayan. Ganon ka simple. Labas at pasok eh. Hindi naman pinag-uusapan dito kung saan ginamit o kung ano pa man, pinangsweldo o pinang-business, hindi. Hindi yun ipinaliwanag nung tabatsing-tsing na taga-AMLA kahapon. Barata
Pero
madam.
ang nakalagay sa AMLA na CTR is ilang transactions, 8, at ang amount niya ay nasa 4 million pesos. Pero ang natira sa akin, 0. O ngayon, bakit sinasabi nila yung inflow tsaka outflow hindi balance? O yung pumasok sa akin na 2 million, ang ginawa ko, nag-issue ko isa-isang cheque sa mga empleyado ko bilang sweldo nila, edi hindi siya CTR kasi hindi siya above 500,000. Pero lumabas yung pera sa akin dahil nagbayad ako, pinasweldo ko lahat ng empleyado ko hanggang naubos ko yung 2 million. Diba? Hindi siya CTR. Pero lumabas yung pera.
Yan ang problema.
Naiintindihan mo yung sinasabi ko? Kaya hanggang hindi buo ang kwento, mahirap mag-assume at sasabihin, oy, ganito to. Diba? Kasi ang suspicious transaction, kung wala siya sa regular mo eh. Diba? Paano kung kunwari yung tatay ko nagbenta ng lupa at yung pagbenta ng lupa, dinicide niya, o hati-hati kayong magkakapatid, o di may pumasok sa aking malaking pera, o di suspicious na kaagad yun. Until ma-prove ko na hindi, regalo to sa akin ng tatay ko.
Ganon ho yun mga kababayan. Oh. Pinaliwanag ba ng AMLA? Hiningi ba ang mga eksplanasyon ng mag-asawang Duterte kung bakit ganun kalaki yung naglalabas-masok sa pera sa mga bank accounts nila? Anong nauna? Yung demolition job dyan sa Injustice Committee. Yung demolition job dyan sa mini trial ni Luis Tro. Yun ang problema ho natin dito.
Diba? Kasi kung wala yun, edi sana pa-filean ako ng kaso ng AMLA. May final bang kaso si AMLA? Diba kasi kung meron suspicious, kailangan mong i-monitor and i-flag. Pagkatapos mo i-flag, kailangan mo investigate. So you won't stop there kung may nakita ka. So bakit wala naman ako narinig na sinabi ni AMLA na may nakita silang after dun sa suspicion. May narinig ka ba, MJ or Edmar? Kasi ako wala ko narinig na finailan nila ng kaso or talagang sinundan nila yung trail.
Opo. Tsaka,
Ibig sabihin, nasa tanong mo eh, di ba?
Tsaka yung ma'am, yung time frame, kasi mula 2005 hanggang 2026, 20 years ang kanila pong inada para maging bilyon, ma'am.
O, isa pa yun, di ba? Eh kung tutusin mo, kung yung 2022 to 2026, nasa 63.8 million lang yun na transactions. Actually, pag tinitingnan ko nga, in 21 years, yung 300, ilang transactions, 371 large transactions, at saka 30 suspicious. Isipin mo, for 21 years, 30 suspicious. Di ba kung i-divide mo yun, parang 1 per year or 1.5, di ba? So, pero kung titingnan mo, ilan ba yung naging suspicious noong 2022 to 2026?
Yun.
Ilan yung large transactions from 2022 to 2026? Because that is the only period in question. So kung 63.8 million yan from 2022 to 2026, then hindi malaki ba yun? Pero hindi kami, ako as congresswoman, kung tumatanggap ako ng MOOE ko buwan-buwan, di ganyan din ang transactions ko sa CTR.
Nako. Pero dahil nga napapaliwanag at legal ang pinanggalingan ng pera, kaya hindi kinakasuhan itong si Ma'am Bernadette. Tama ba, Ma'am? Ang tanong dito, kinasuhan ba ang mag-asawang Duterte dyan sa CTR na yan? Suspicious transaction.
Opo. So, lumalabas ma'am, kung atin pong isa-summarize yung pagdinig kanina, especially yung part ng Anti-Money Laundering Council, yung AMLAC, hindi po yun corruption case, kundi narrative construction. Hindi po ito ebidensya, kundi presentation strategy or perception building o perception management. Hindi po ito paghahanap ng accountability.
Oo, pinapaandaran tayo nitong si Sir MJ Mondial. Sa mga termino ng mga journalist ng galawang mainstream media. Kaya sila, di ba? Sir MJ, mabait yan. Idolo natin yan. Palakpakan natin si Sir MJ Mondial. Sobrang yan, napaka diretso na tao. Idolo. Saludo, Sir MJ.
Laban sa Vice President.
let us not deceive the public. Let us tell the public kung ano talaga yung nire-report natin. Diba kasi kung may matibay naman tayong ebidensya, then hindi natin kailangan i-deceive yung public. Sa akin naman, diba, di ipakita nyo kung ano talaga yung hindi yung gagawin nyo exaggerated na from 2005 to, diba? Parang if you're doing that, parang you want to stretch it, para lang siguro parang gusto nyo,
Mapukaw.
ang tawag dito, yung i-build yung mindset ng tao.
Oh.
Ang sa akin naman,
Narrative building.
huwag natin gawing mangmang ang mga Pilipino. Turuan natin sila ng tama. Diba? Kasi we owe it to them. We owe it to them to educate them. Ako, yun ang laging paniniwala ko eh. Diba? Sabihin natin sa kanila yung katotohanan, the transactions, movement of funds, doesn't necessarily create a liability. And besides, whose accounts are this? KVP lang ba ito? Or was it joint with the dad? Ginawa lang ba siyang signatory? Kasi hindi porket signatory ka sa account, kunwari, ang tatay ko, meron siyang account. Kasama niya sa signatory doon yung kapatid ko. Dahil pag may nangyari sa kanya, gusto niya kayang withdraw yun ng kapatid ko. Diba? Pero hindi ibig sabihin, pera ng kapatid ko yun. Dahil 4 kaming magkakapatid eh. Siyempre, pamana yun sa amin ng tatay ko kung may mangyari sa amin. So, do I report that? Will she report it to the SALN? Siyempre, hindi. So, at saka kaya ba niyang i-claim na kanya yun? Hindi. Amin yun. Kung ibibigay sa amin ng tatay ko. Diba? So, ito yung mga bagay na we have to educate the public. Na hindi porket it's there, it means it's yours. Maraming instances wherein hindi porket hindi siya lumabas as CTR, hindi siya lumabas sa account mo. Kasi pwede siyang hindi lumabas in tranches of 500. Pwede siyang lumabas less than 500. So it wasn't flagged as a CTR or an STR. Naiintindihan mo yung sinasabi ko, MJ?
Yes po, Kong, si Admiral po ito. Tama po ba na isuma total ang perang nababanggit mula 2005-2026 at lumalabas na 3.9 billion pesos? Hindi ba may redundancy na dito sa mga pera na ito? Parang pinamumukha kasi na bilyonaryo po ang Vice Presidente.
Well, yun nga yung sinasabi ko. Kasi, di ba, nilagay nila Sara Duterte account, Man Scarpio account, di ba? So, ito yung Sara-related accounts. That's not even her own accounts lang. Di ba, Sara-related accounts. Pwedeng ka-joint niya si Mans, ka-joint niya yung tatay niya, ka-joint niya yung kapatid niya. Hindi natin alam. Ganon din yung kay Mans. Ka-joint niya si Sara, ka-joint niya sa company niya, ka-joint niya, whatever. So, pwedeng pumasok na siya dito kay Sara, pumasok pa siya dito kay Mans, tapos inad mo pa. Di ba? So, kasi until klaro what accounts those are, di ba? At saka, like I said, pumasok sa'yo, pero lumabas sa'yo. So, hindi mo yung pera.
Opo.
Katulad kami, yun lang ako, example ko lang, MOOE namin, pumasok sa akin. Pero may pinaglalaanan na yun ng pangsweldo sa mga tao ko eh. Diba? Ang bottom line, pwedeng wala pang natira dun eh. Pwedeng nag-abono pa ako bukod dun sa pera ko eh, dahil kunwari pag Pasko, diba? So, that doesn't mean that that volume of transactions came and went, diba? Or entered and went. Ibig sabihin, napakinabangan ko ang perang yun.
Opo. Kung ganito po ang kanila pong logic po, ma'am, at dapat ilabas din siguro yung sa kanila, sa lahat na lang po ng public official po. Kasi hindi nga matukoy dito kung saan yung may katiwalian, may something na problema. So ibig sabihin lahat pwede na ganito ang gawin sa lahat ng mga public official.
Edmar, that's why I'm using myself as an example eh. May MOOE kami. May bonus na, di ba? May break bonus na tinatawag na MOOE kami. Those are CTR because those are above 500. So, lalabas din yun sa mga, pag kami mag-check din sa AMLO namin, lalabas din yun. Di ba? Pero kami, we can say with certainty, pinagsasweldo namin yun, kahit papilahin ko pa lahat ng taong sinweldohan nun. That's what I'm saying. Not because there are movement of funds, it means nasa akin yung perang yun.
Opo, pero yung naratibo nila kasi parang masamang-masama po, Congresswoman. Congresswoman, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras at panahon. Sa uulitin po.
Maraming salamat, madam. Talaga naman, napakaganda talaga nito siya. Palakpakan muna natin. Ito si Ma'am BH. Kayo naman, oo. O, rekta na ho tayo niyan. Babaran ho natin yung pag-aalburuto nitong si Bacolao doon sa hindi pagpayag ng BIR na pagbukas doon sa box. Hawak niya daw ang bit eh. Hindi, madam, hawak mo lang ang box pero hindi mo mabuksan. Ikaw naman talaga. Oh. Hawak mo ang box. Kanya ka, Bacolao. Ito, punta na ho tayo kay Bacolao. Nakakalungkot lang ho dito. Mula sa napakaganda, punta ho tayo sa napakapangit. Nakaka asuya.
So the
Yun!
floor is now
Yun!
open for clarificatory questions to the BIR Commissioner, Attorney Charlie Mendoza. Any member?
Madam Chair. Madam Chair,
The Honorable Ridon is recognized.
we'd like to know from the BIR if they had complied with the subpoena for the income tax returns and other tax documents relating to the Vice President, Attorney Manscarpio, and their other related firms.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and honorable members of the committee. Yes, Madam Chair, we confirm that last April 14, we submitted the documents enumerated in the subpoena that was served to the Bureau of Internal Revenue. We have submitted the documents subject to the condition that the same be examined in an executive session as provided by law. Thank you, Madam Chair.
We direct the committee secretary to kindly produce the sealed box, I understand, containing the documents submitted by the BIR.
Ayan oh. Grabe naman.
I understand that the Honorable BIR Commissioner is claiming confidentiality of the BIR documents. So, we are confronted with the question of whether or not we will be opening the box.
Yan.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Keith Flores is recognized.
Madam Chair, I believe that the NIRC prohibits us from discussing information about the tax of a person, Madam Chair. And I think the BIR is also prohibited from divulging or discussing the contents of an ITR of a person, Madam Chair, unless if it is done in executive session, Madam Chair, during a congressional committee hearing, Madam Chair. But for now, we are not in a congressional committee hearing. We are in an impeachment hearing, a clarificatory hearing for that matter. And since they are barred by the NIRC, then I think it will be prudent, Madam Chair, not to open the box.
Madam Chair, may we
Chair.
request
Mano,
first the BIR
Maalam ho yung si Kit Flores, maalam. Tsaka maingat siya. Kasi abogado eh. O saka siguro gusto niyang gawin ng tama, di ba? Si Bacolao wala namang gustong gawin tama. Ang gusto lang ni Bacolao hindi makatakbo si BP Sara sa 2020.
Commissioner to enlighten the justice members on the nature of the confidentiality of the documents contained in the box.
Yes, Madam Chair. The National Internal Revenue Code under Section 270 expressly provides for unlawful divulgence of information. So in essence, the tax code prohibits the disclosure of a specific tax information pertaining to specific taxpayers. However, the law provides for some exceptions, and one of the exceptions is provided in Section 20A of the National Internal Revenue Code, which provides that we may disclose specific tax information to Congress provided that the examination shall be done in executive session.
Exam
Hindi naman pwede yun, executive session. Ang pakay nga dyan ika nga kumbinsihin ng ating mga kababayan na talagang may problema ang mag-asawang Duterte. Pero ano lang naman na yan, yung ang tawag dito, yung tax na yan, hindi maano yan, walang kwenta yan. Importante dito, Importante dito sa mga congressman na to, yung AMLA, yung ano, yung paninira ni Trillanes, yan yun eh. Yun yung importante dito. Yan kasi kung talagang gusto nilang buksan yung pagpipilitan ho nila yan. Mga walang yaya mga congressman na yan eh.
Nomination shall be done in an executive session.
Madam Chair,
The Honorable DS J.J. Suarez is recognized.
yeah, I think the point of subpoenaing these documents is for us to come to a informative decision with regards to whether or not there is
JJ, ingat ka ha. Baka SALN at AMLA record at BIR record mo na sisilipin natin sa next administration. Ingat-ingat din ha. Huwag masyadong maangas, okay? May hangganan lahat ng kalokohan, JJ.
probable cause. Now, may I get clarification from the chairman or from the members of the committee? How then are we supposed to make both ends meet with regards to this? I see a specific gray area. Dahil sa binanggit po ni Congressman Flores kanina, dapat naka-executive session tayo during a congressional hearing. Correct? However, we don't find ourselves in a congressional hearing. We find ourselves in an impeachment proceeding. So, may I find out from the good chairman, is it one and the same insofar as we're still in a hearing, although an impeachment hearing? Can we just call for an executive session and look at the contents of that box, Madam Chair?
I understand that the requirement shared to us by the Honorable Commissioner is cumulative, which means that this must be both a legislative inquiry and at the same time, an executive session done in its occasion.
Yes.
Which means that the executive session must be done during a legislative inquiry. But, of course, the members are correct in pointing out that this is not an ordinary inquiry in aid of legislation.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair. But
The Honorable D.S. Suarez?
yeah, I just want to add, no? But we are still, in function or performing our legislative duty. Because as legislators, part of our duty is to convene ourselves into, quote-unquote, how do you say it? Impeachment proceedings to determine probable cause. That is part of our legislative duty, I believe,
Buksan
although
nyo.
it's not.
Buksan nyo. Walang problema yan. Buksan nyo. Okay lang naman yan. Buksan nyo at papasukin nyo ang Korte Suprema. Buksan nyo yung ano na yan. Ako gusto ko buksan nila yung box eh. Para next year na tayo magkita-kita ulit. Kung meron pang next year. Kung meron pa next year. Okay lang ho sa akin. Kung ako tatanungin kung JJ, buksan nyo yan. Anak ng tao ka para next administration, lahat bubuksan natin, mga walang yaka kayo.
Lawmaking, maybe Congressman Rufus can shed light into this because he's a more wise lawyer than I'm not a lawyer. But yun lang yung
Yun nga problema, huwag kang bida-bida, huwag kang makikipagtagisan. Kung nagsasalita, yang si Rufus Rodriguez, yang si mga abogado yan. Huwag kang bida-bida, pakinangin mo na lang, bumbunin mo, niya ka.
This is still part of our duty and our function as legislators.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Tino and then the Honorable Keith Flores.
Madam Chair, first of all, may I ask the BIR to read again hindi ko kasi hawak ngayon, the exception provided in the law.
Yeah. May I read section 20, paragraph A, Madam Chair, submission of pertinent information to Congress. The provision of section 270, which pertains to unlawful divulgence of information of this code, to the contrary notwithstanding, the Commissioner shall, upon request of Congress and in aid of legislation, furnish its appropriate committee pertinent information, including but not limited to industry audits, collection performance data, status reports, and criminal actions initiated against persons and taxpayers' returns. Provided, however, that any return or return information which can be associated with or otherwise identify directly or indirectly a particular taxpayer shall be furnished the appropriate committee of Congress only when sitting in executive session unless such taxpayer otherwise consents in writing to such disclosure.
Madam Chair, I agree with the Deputy Speaker Suarez that this is a hearing of the Committee on Justice. So we may inspect the documents for as long as we are in executive session. That's my position, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair. We know the position of the Honorable Tino. The Honorable Flores first, and then the Honorable D.S. Conghon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I too would like to know what's inside that box. But I think we have to distinguish that there are two functions of Congress. Now, one is the lawmaking function, and the other one is, right now, the accountability provisions of the Constitution. We are gathered here today not for the purpose of our lawmaking functions, Madam Chair. We are now here today as an impeachment part of the impeachment proceeding. So the provisions that was mentioned by our good officer, Madam Chair, does not apply if we look at the exceptions, Madam Chair.
Mr. Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Alright. The Honorable D.S. Conghon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner, lahat po ng opisina ng ating gobyerno nag-declare na ng kanilang mga dokumento. Naglabas ng kanilang dokumento. So sana gawin din ng BIR yung nararapat. Kasi napaka-importante po ng mga dokumentong ito mula sa BIR. Malalaman lang ng komite kung totoo ang mga deklarasyon ni Vice President Sara Duterte ng kanyang salin. Kapag sinuri ang mga dokumentong isinumite
Nako, ito yung abogado niya nagsulat yan. Tuloy lang.
nito at ng kanyang asawa sa BIR. So napaka-importante ito. Sana tumulad na po tayo sa AMLAC at i-disclose kung ano yung mga dokumento.
Tumulad na tayo sa AMLA. Sige, tulad na tayo sa...
Madam Chair. Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
BIR Commissioner, would you like to
Pumula
respond
tayo
to
sa
D.S.
AMLA.
Conghon?
Yes, Madam Chair, nauunawaan po namin ang kahalagahan ng mga dokumentong isinumiti namin at sinubpina ng House Committee on Justice. Nauunawaan rin po namin ang kahalagahan ng proceedings na ito. Nagkataon lamang po na maliwanag na nakasaad sa batas ang mga limitasyon sa pagbibigay ng impormasyon tungkol sa isang particular na taxpayer at kami po ay obligado na sundin ang batas.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
The Honorable Sia Diong.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I guess all of us are in agreement that when it comes to the documents that we want to subpoena, or we have already issued subpoena, it should be also appreciated by the committee in an open session as such as this. Although we also have to be very cautious about the way we conduct this proceeding. In fact, Madam Chair, if I may remind the members of this committee, the chair herself, whenever there's a questions that is outside of a testimony or affidavit or outside the reported documents by each of the agencies, she automatically calls that particular, for example, question as probing in order to avoid, us giving impression that we're doing a mini trial. So again, I understand that the chairperson of the BIR also wants to cooperate with the committee, but she is also tied up with a certain limitations as what he already intimated to us that is very clear under the law. If, Madam Speaker, if the law intends for this committee to hold or to discuss these particular documents inside the box openly in the committee hearing, the law would have specified an exemption to include impeachment hearing. Similar with the bank secrecy law. The bank secrecy law was very specific that when it comes to a impeachment proceedings, that is among the exception. That meaning to say, it cannot absolutely be invoked 100% insofar as the intention of that particular bank secrecy is to proceed with the impeachment proceedings or hearing. Kung sa batas po, kung meron po sa bank secrecy law na specify niya mismo na ito ay exemption para sa purpose niya is impeachment proceeding, kung ganun din po yung intention ng batas na yon na sinight ni Commissioner, dapat sinight na po doon. Pero in this case, wala po. Ang sinabi lang po doon is in aid of legislation that can only be open and that can only also be discussed in an executive session. Had the law intends also to include as an exemption impeachment proceeding, then it would have been spelled out clearly in that law. Since nawala po, we cannot interpret and provide our own interpretation doon sa batas na yun, which is clearly wala na po doon na sinasabi na impeachment proceeding. So that is only my my manifestation. Ako lang, Madam Chair, I would like to be very, very cautious on how we proceed with this impeachment hearing. Wag mo sana natin mabigyan kung sino man yung nag-aantay na magkamali tayo para questionin po yung integrity and credibility nito proceeding na ito, Madam Chair. Maraming salamat po.
Madam Chair.
We know the manifestation of the Honorable Adjong. Now we recognize the Honorable Lord Dansuan.
Madam
Chair, I echo the
Ano, President Lord Dansuan, President, kailangan presensya.
objection of Vice Chair Jonathan Keith Flores and Congressman Zia Adyong.
Ito ba yung nagsabi na napilitan lang silang pumirma doon sa unang impeachment? Yan si Lord Dansuan. Balimbing.
And that when we are prevented from asking probing questions, in the same manner, the impeachment does not give us license for unlimited discovery. And so we must take note of the objection of the BIR Commissioner that Section 270 of the National Internal Revenue Code criminalizes the divulgence of tax returns by BIR officials. This is very clear. And the only exception that I can think of is the one mentioned by the Commissioner. And even then, if we invoke that section, it refers to inquiries in aid of legislation. And I think that this impeachment proceeding is so far away from an inquiry in aid of legislation. Furthermore, Madam Chair, the subject or the respondent in the impeachment case is the Vice President. Attorney Manscarpio, whose tax returns we are going to expose here now, is a private citizen. He is her husband, and he is not the one who is the respondent in the impeachment case, which also brings us to Section 3 of the Data Privacy Act, which treats income tax returns as sensitive personal information, which is included in the heightened privacy protections of that statute. And it is not a shield that vanishes whenever Congress decides to take up a subpoena pen. And so, inuulit ko po, Madam Chair, na hindi dapat talaga natin ilabas yung ITR ni Attorney Manscarpio dito sa hearing natin ngayon.
Oh, mabawi ito si Lord Dansuan. Ramdam mo na, Brad, na magpipresidente si VP Sara. Yan ang problema. Kaso kahit ano pa sabihin mo dyan, wala kayong kwenta.
Madam Chair.
May I ask first the BIR Commissioner if indeed the Justice Committee has no authority to open this box, then when will be the right time to see the contents of this box?
Actually, Madam Chair, when we submitted the documents subject of the subpoena to the House Committee on Justice, we are very much aware as well of the requirement that the same should be in aid of legislation.
Louder,
Our
Commissioner,
premise-
please.
And our premise, when we submitted the documents, is that the proceedings of the committee is also in aid of legislation, given the plenary power of Congress to legislate. This is just my opinion, Madam Chair. Whatever that may be discussed here could possibly the basis of a possible amendment of, for example, the Bank Secrecy Law or of the tax code itself. And so again, Madam Chair, yes, we are aware that when we submit the documents, it must be in aid of legislation. Our premise when we submitted the documents is that this proceeding is also in aid of legislation. Now, applying what the law expressly says, it can only be examined if the two requisites concur in aid of legislation and in an executive session. Thank you, Madam Chair.
But this is not an inquiry in aid of legislation. As clearly pointed out by the members, this is entirely different proceeding. This is an impeachment proceeding.
If that is the case, Madam Chair, then Section 20A will not apply.
What is Section 20?
The submission of pertinent information by the Commissioner to Congress.
That is an
20.
exception.
That is an exception, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Terry Ridon.
Madam Chair, I'd like to state that Section 20, which is being stated, no? Can you state it for the record, Honorable Commissioner, please? The provision again, can you state it again for the record, please?
That is Section 20 NIRC.
Yes, Section 20
Yes, Madam
NIRC.
Can we flash it?
Submission to Congress.
Secretariat, Section 20 NIRC.
Please read it for the record, please. Restate it again, please.
Yeah.
Madam
Section 20, letter A, submission of pertinent information to Congress. The provision of Section 270 of this code, to the contrary notwithstanding, the Commissioner shall, upon request of Congress and in aid of legislation, furnish its appropriate committee pertinent information, including but not limited to industry audits, collection performance data, status reports in criminal actions initiated against persons, and taxpayers' returns, provided, however, that any return or return information which can be associated with or otherwise identify, directly or indirectly, a particular taxpayer shall be furnished the appropriate committee of Congress only when sitting in executive session, unless such taxpayer otherwise consents in writing to such disclosure.
Thank you for restating the provision. I'd like to state for the record that the subpoena given to the BIR, Madam Chair, is not a request. It is part of a compulsory process in which the BIR had complied. So my question to BIR is whether or not this particular provision actually applies to this particular submission to the impeachment proceeding. Because we are not requesting anything from the Commission. We are requiring, under compulsory processes of impeachment rules, for the BIR to actually submit these documents of the Vice President, of Attorney Carpio, and their firms to Congress. And second point, to be clear, when the Commission actually submits it to Congress, the penalty is not on members of Congress, no? It is, the penalty is on BIR officers, employees, no? When they make a divulgence, is that correct? So in the event that the documents are actually submitted and ultimately unsealed by this committee during impeachment proceedings, what criminal offense actually exists on a BIR officials when the persons that will actually unseal and look into the documents will not be the BIR, it will be the members of this committee. Madam Chair.
I find it strange really, no?
Madam Chair.
Parang you are so near yet you're so far.
Madam Chair.
The BIR apparently complied with the subpoena, but
Buksan nyo na. Wala namang problema. Buksan nyo na para matapos ang
bringing to
impeachment.
us the sealed box. But because of that issue of confidentiality, we cannot open the box.
Madam
Karamihan naman ang pinag-usapan nyo dyan, puro confidential. AMLA, confidential. SALN, confidential. Paigutan nyo rin yan.
Chair.
Honorable Tino.
Madam Chair, first of all, we note that the BIR themselves have a broad interpretation, which I happen to agree with regard to the meaning of in aid of legislation. Na ibig sabihin, my understanding is that is Congress discharging its duties. So the impeachment process in that broad sense will also be covered by in aid of legislation. Katulad nga ng nabanggit, no? There are many issues that have arisen here which may be the subject of legislation. For example, yung mga problema sa bank secrecy law, no? Kaya nga po ang sinabi ko kanina, ang aking posisyon ay covered na ito. Pwede, for as long as the documents are inspected by this committee in executive session, no? Pero kung hindi naman, I mean, kailangan pa ba, if for example, I file a resolution in aid of legislation, which also results in the subpoena of the same documents, di pwede na. Ganun po ba ang sinasabi ng committee? No? In other words, the contents of the documents are not beyond the reach of this committee. No? And so I would subscribe to the broad interpretation of the phrase in aid of legislation, Madam Chair.
We note the manifestation of the Honorable Tino. Now we recognize the Honorable Karen Lagbas.
Madam Chair, there is a Latin maxim which provides expressio unius est, exclusio alterius. This means that the express mention of one thing implies the exclusion of another. It is very clear that the officials, officers, or employees of the BIR are prohibited from divulging information regarding the taxpayer or any information relative thereto. And there is only one exemption if the Congress requests in aid of legislation. And yes, Madam Chair, should we allow BIR to violate this specific prohibition, they will be subjected to penalties. Kawawa naman po sila, Madam Chair. Nag-comply naman po sila sa subpoena. They are here. They waited for more than 9 hours. Nag-comply sila, andito po yung box. Sana naman magiging sensitive na rin tayo by at very least complying with what is provided for by the law. That is all, Madam Chair.
Nako, walang gano'n, walang konsiderasyon yan. Bakulaw yan eh. Tingnan yung pagka magagandang ganyan, di ba? Pagka magagandang ganyan, merong sense magsalita. Hindi, pero buksan nyo.
When is the correct time to open the box, Commissioner? No. Because there are two requirements. Inquiry in aid and executive session. Both should be present. And assuming that the committee will decide not to open, may I just ask, when is the correct time to open the box? Commissioner?
Well, if the committee says that this is not in aid of legislation, then Section 20A will not apply. And therefore, what we will do, Madam Chair, is to withdraw our submission.
Nako.
Madam Chair, this has been submitted already.
Ito naman si Bakulaw. Oh. Wala na. Baka akala ni Bakulaw pera lamang sa loob
I would
niya.
rather keep this.
What do you mean withdraw your
Even when it's
submission? You
sealed.
don't take this back? The box?
Yes, Madam Chair, because when we submitted the documents, our
To be specific, Commissioner, in the event that the committee votes in favor of probable cause, assuming only for the purpose of discussion that the impeachment complaint is transmitted to the Senate, will they be in the correct position to open this box? I'm referring to the senators.
Well, if we go by the specific statutory exceptions, Madam Chair, an impeachment proceeding or an impeachment trial is not one.
Can you speak louder, Com?
If I go by the specific statutory exceptions, Madam Chair,
It's not
then-
part of your exception. It doesn't make mention at all of impeachment proceeding.
Precisely, Madam Chair. So that is not, what I am saying is that an impeachment proceeding or an impeachment trial is not one of the exceptions.
So even the
Section 270.
senators cannot open this box?
If we go by the provisions of the law, Madam Chair, then there is no basis as well for the disclosure.
Again, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair,
Madam Chair,
This is such an absurd
Chair.
situation.
The Honorable Rurik Padiernos, and then the Honorable Tino, and then the Honorable Diaz Suarez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to ask some clarificatory
It's
questions.
not about the box.
Yes, Madam
Yes.
Chair. Because yung na-mention po kasi, Madam Chair, ni BIR Commissioner, this representation is in the position that impeachment proceedings is sui generis. It's a class of its own, different from yung na-mention po na in aid of legislation. So, I just wanted to again, if I heard it correctly from the Commissioner, Madam Chair, if the section that was mentioned a while ago does not apply, does it mean that you you have to get the box, meaning you're not bound because wala nga pong basis ang pagbigay. So that's the only way that you will submit. Medyo mahirap po itong sitwasyon natin kasi po we don't have a specific law to say that pwede po talaga niyang ibigay yan, except yun lang po yung basis niya. So I just wanted to get a clarification from the Commissioner.
Madam Chair, had it, as mentioned by Representative Adyong a while ago, had it been the intention that the impeachment proceeding be an exception to Section 270 of the National Internal Revenue Code, then the law would have said so, as it did in the Bank Secrecy Law, where it is explicitly provided that an impeachment proceeding is an exception to the confidentiality of bank deposits.
Madam Chair,
Ano na? Anak na to.
Madam Chair. Sige po.
Are you finished, Honorable
Umiinom pa si Madam Chair. Hanap pa. Search pa.
Padiernos?
Madam Chair, maybe the committee should address this by voting on the matter after the Honorable Tino makes his
Let's
manifestation.
hear first the position of the justice members.
Madam Chair.
Honorable Tino and then Honorable De Luna.
So just to be clear, Madam Chair, mukhang ang nangyari ngayon, originally, the position of the BIR was, correct me if I'm wrong, kaya daw po nila sinubmit sa committee yung mga dokumento dahil sa kanilang pagtingin, covered ng exception sa batas. Na yung dahil ininterpret nila broadly yung phrase na in aid of legislation. Kaya nila binigay yan. Pero ang requirement lang nila or ang parang condition lang nila ay dapat in executive session. Tama po ba, Commissioner?
That is correct, Madam Chair.
So yun po ang original na position nila na it falls within the exception. We interpret the phrase in aid of legislation broadly as Congress exercising all its functions. Okay, so therefore, pwede, basta in executive session. However, mukhang nakumbinsi si Commissioner at ang BIR ni Congressman Adjong. kaya ngayon, mukhang nagbago na po ang posisyon nyo. At kaya nga po sabi, i-withdraw na nila. Tama po ba?
Hindi po. Kasi po kung sinasabi po ng committee mismo na hindi ito in aid of legislation, hindi po namin po pwedeng i-invoke ang Section 28. Kaya kinakailangang i-withdraw namin.
Opo. So, lumalabas, mas nakumbinsi ng committee as a whole, batay sa mga naririnig, no, na, well, hindi nga ito in aid of legislation, therefore hindi, no? Pero, again, this is under consideration by the committee. At ako po, actually, sumasang-ayon nga po ako sa naging original na posisyon ng BIR na broadly, yun ang ibig sabihin ng provision na yun, ng exception na yun. Otherwise, Madam Chair, sa tanong nyo, kailan pwedeng buksan yan? Kung magiging stricto tayo sa in aid of legislation, then as I said earlier, I may file a House resolution in aid of legislation requesting the same documents at lalabas, pwede na. Diba? For as long as it is in executive session. No? And also, so in other words, ordinaryong resolution lang, pwede na nating buksan yan kung ganon. Samantala, dun sa tanong niyo pa further, kung umabot sa...
Hindi mag-ano ka ng in aid of legislation para mabuksan nyo yan in executive session.
Trial sa Senado ito.
Hira.
Kahit ang Senate sitting as an impeachment court, hindi nila pwedeng buksan yan kung ganon. Diba? Dahil makitid ang magiging interpretasyon dun sa in aid of legislation. So parang ganun po ang sitwasyon ngayon na kailangan mag-antay tayo sa pag-file ng resolution in aid of legislation at maaaring masilip in executive session ang mga nilalaman yan. Or we can go with the interpretation that in aid of legislation is in a very broad and generic meaning. Parang ganun po, Madam Chair.
Now let's hear from the Honorable De Lima.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This matter seems to be a gray area. Pero ito pong pananaw ko.
Gray area. Isubo mo ang saba. Ni joke no, para wala kang gray. Ba't diba? Kasi dapat binuksan nyo na wala niya ito mga to.
The position that the only exception to the rule of confidentiality of those records is kapag ang Congress, ang House, ay nag-request in aid of legislation, but subject to that limitation that it should be an executive session, actually renders our role in an impeachment case, in an impeachment proceedings, inferior to that role as a body with legislative functions. Because ours, when sitting here in an impeachment proceedings, is a special constitutional duty. So hindi po katanggap-tanggap sa akin ang sasabihin po ngayon ng the Honorable BIR Commissioner na babawiin na lang namin ang kahon na yan kasi nga hindi siya sakop sa exception, which is when mag-request in aid of legislation. When our role sitting in an impeachment proceedings is a special constitutional duty. It is superior to that as when we are acting merely as a legislative body. Yun po ang aking position. But of course, the issue of cautiousness is another matter. Kaya nga ho tinatawag kong gray matter po ito. Pero insulto po sa House through this committee in an impeachment proceedings na sasabihin na ito dahil hindi ito
Nagkanda hendot na mula sa confidential fund, napunta sa AMLA, napunta kay Sammy Uy, napunta kay Madriaga. Ngayon naman nasa BIR tayo. Ano ba talaga? Nalilito na ang ano ba yan?
in aid of legislation ay hindi tayo sakop ng exception, even if hindi nakalagay sa batas Tungkol lang yun sa pag-request. But sabi nga po ni Congressman Ridon, ay subpoena po ito, hindi po ito ordinary request from the House of Representatives. So yun po ang aking posisyon.
Madam Chair.
We commend all the meaningful and vital opinions of the justice members. We've been here for 8.5 hours already. Just to remind all of you, no? And I think we are very much divided with regards to the question of whether we will be opening this or not. But definitely, please join me, my fellow members. We will not be returning this to BIR. The only issue is whether or not we will open the same. Can we defer the resolution of this issue? With the indulgence of my fellow members, with the indulgence of Commissioner Mendoza, hindi po namin ito ibabalik. Batid po namin kami confronted ng question kung maari ba namin itong buksan o hindi, pero mas mamarapatin po naming alagaan ang kahong ito kahit po ito'y selyado. Habang amin pong pinag-aaralan ang tamang posisyon ng Justice Committee kung bubuksan o hindi.
Madam
Having said
Chair,
so,
I move that we lay on the table the opening of the contents of the said box until constitutional constraints.
opinion of the
Question of law, it in
seconded, Honorable Rufus
Yes,
Rodriguez.
Madam Chair,
This is a very difficult question of law. It involves the philosophy of law. There are two kinds of interpretation when there are two conflicting laws. Whether you are in the positive school, that is Justice Scalia of the Supreme Court of the United States, or you belong to the spirit of the law school. Now, Mr. Chairman, in the positive school of law, that is precisely what the National Internal Revenue Code says. In the positivist approach of law, and lawyers will know this because you all took up theory of the law, it is you confine yourself in the four corners
Si JJ Suarez, di niya alam yan.
of the positive law. That is positivism. Correct, Commissioner? Because you're a lawyer. And so you took up philosophy. What law school did you go to?
I'm a product of San Beda University.
Oh, very good law school.
College of Law.
So therefore, in the positivist school,
Magagaling
This is
yung
the-
mga taga Sambeda, no? Si Tatay Digong Sambeda ho yun. Sambeda ba siya? Nalilito na ako. Ang gulo nyo.
issue on whether the NIRC, in the four corners of the NIRC, no? In the four corners of the NIRC, no, the National Internal Revenue Code, it is clear there that it can only be done in aid of legislation and in executive session. So that is the positive law. In other words, if you follow that trend of law, there can be no opening of this because we can never convert ourselves into an executive session or an aid of legislation because you have another function right now, which is impeachment. Now, what do you say about that positive school of thought? Because these are the finer points, Mr. Chairman. What does the lawyer from San Beda say? Because we now have this, because I will then ask you, the other law or rules that will govern this is the rules of impeachment, which has the effect of law, which provides that there is absolute power. The power to issue the subpoena ducis tecum, and the spirit of the law is accountability. So we go to the spirit of the law. We have to use, therefore, our rules that says the committee, the Justice Committee, acting as a impeachment court can subpoena you to submit. So which one now would you agree? The positivist school of law or the spirit of the law? So in other words, your NARC or for our justice members, the spirit of the law. That this is different. This is sui generis. We have given so much power because this is accountability of very high officials. So which one would you now say that governs? Because you're a lawyer. Is it the positivist school or the spirit of the law school? Rules of impeachment.
Wala, binobola na tayo ni Rufus. Ayun na nga mga kababayan, dito na natatapusin ang ating reaction video. Maraming salamat sa pag-support sa PH Update. Mag-ingat po kayo lahat. Saludo. Buksan nyo na ang box para matapos na impeachment.